What is up, you guys? I just woke up. Wearing my LA Bones ring. It stands for Los Angeles, but I make it stand for Lord Almighty. And I got some onyx rings too. Anyways, this is gonna be a really good video. I just woke up, if I didn't mention that already, so the yawns are gonna probably be otherworldly in this video. Man, I just mentioned that, and already there's a yawn. Lord God Almighty, please forgive my yawns, for they do not know what they do. They ruin my videos. Alright, all jokes aside. So, in, I think it was September of 2020, I went to Cedar Point with my father. Cedar Point is an amusement park. There's this ride that's been there since 2003. It's called Top Thrill Dragster. Look on my video, on my channel, in my shorts, my short videos. You can see Top Thrill Dragster on there. It's a roller coaster that is, actually it's not a roller coaster, it's a strata coaster. It's 420 feet tall, and it looks like it's like 1,000 feet. It's 120 miles per hour, and it's 17 seconds in duration. The ride only lasts 17 seconds. So to me, it's a big, huge waste of like $25 million that cost to put it up there. So basically what it does is it has a launch accelerator system, and you sit at the launch pad, and then it has like a slingshot thing that goes underneath the back of the train, or on like the bottom of the middle of the train, and then it stays there until the ride conductor presses the launch button. And then once the launch button is pressed, it launches you like a slingshot, 0 to 120 miles per hour in like 3.5 seconds, or like 2.5 seconds. It's insane. I've been wanting to ride this thing since 2012. The closest that I've gotten to riding it was getting locked into the seat on the ride in 2016. So never rode in it, never ridden it. Too pansy. I mean, you have to see this thing in person. Well, you can still, but you can't ride it anymore. A piece of the ride, last year, a woman was standing in line for it, and a piece of the ride flew off and hit somebody. It hit her in the head. It's unsaid if the if the piece flew off at 120 miles per hour and hit her in the head. But it was a piece of the ride that flew off after the train launched at 120 miles per hour and hit. Excuse me, 1 second. And hit. Really? And hit her in the head. She suffered brain damage, but she's alive, as far as I know. So they have no idea what happened. They deemed the ride safe still. But Sandusky, Ohio. The state of Ohio, um, I think they gave them a lawsuit or something like that, but they like voted or something like that, and they said by law that they have to retire Top Thrill Dragster. It's the second tallest coaster in existence because it's still up. But once it gets taken, it's never going to be allowed to ride again. Most likely. So what they're probably going to maybe do with it is, I think they're going to have to tear it down because if they're just going to repaint the ride and change up the launch system and make it something else into a different ride, why can't they just do that? Like I don't know. I'm getting confused. Sorry. Anyways, I think they are going to tear it down. Um, but anyways, my point in this video is back in September of 2020, I prayed to God at the amusement park, in the hotel room, and I was like, God, please let me ride this ride. Please give me no fear whatsoever. Make me fearless, God. Fearless, absolutely fearless to ride Top Thrill Dragster. Well, he did and did not answer my prayer. What do I mean by that? Well, I was obviously still afraid to ride the dragster, but there are a few rides there, roller coasters at Cedar Point, that I would never have ridden because I was too afraid. I know I'm a pansy when it comes to roller coasters. Corkscrew, Blue Streak. I've ridden the Iron Dragon before. Iron Dragon is not that bad of a ride. It's fun. You don't lose your stomach on the drop. Corkscrew, you don't really lose your stomach on the drop. Blue Streak, you do kind of lose your stomach on the drop, but it's fun. It's not like Millennium Force where you just have that horrendous stomach drop feeling going down the drop at like 90 something, like 85 degrees straight down or whatnot, 310 feet in the air. No, it's not that. So I was completely fearless. I've never ridden these rides before, except for Iron Dragon. And I had no fear whatsoever. I was just anxious with excitement. I sat in the front seat. I had, on Blue Streak, it's like 80 something feet tall. And I had my hands up. I wasn't even holding on. On the first time I rode it. The first time I rode it. Corkscrew I rode 2 times in a row. That ride, let me tell you, it gives you neck pain and back pain, that and head pain, because it slams you to the sides, and it's like the Himalaya rides. It's very rough. I wanted to ride a ride called the Maverick. It's like the Corkscrew on steroids. It's 105 feet tall. It launches you, and you don't really lose your stomach on the drop, but it is extra bouncy, like Himalaya-ish, like the Corkscrew. More than the Corkscrew, but I wanted to ride it, but it wasn't open. Figures. Because this was during a COVID year, and you had to have an appointment basically to ride the ride. you had to get like a ticket to ride the ride, and you had to get there at a certain time. You couldn't just ride it whenever you wanted. because they were doing social distancing, like in the trains of the coaster. You had to they couldn't fill the entire thing up. You know, like sit like two spaces behind people or whatnot. I don't know. So yeah, God decided that I wouldn't have. I mean, the dragster lasts for 5 seconds. Basically, it's 17 seconds, but it feels like it's 5 seconds. So you don't have time to have fun, to enjoy it. It's over before your mind has time to comprehend what just happened. So how do I know this if I have not written it before? Everybody says the exact same thing. It's over in 5 seconds. So, but I had a blast on the other rides. I would not have had a blast on the dragster. God thought it would. God saw that it would be better for me to ride the other rides, to have a blast and to have absolutely all the fun I could. Maybe he just didn't want me to have waited like 8 years to ride. 8 years. It was 8 years when I was there in 2020. I think like 2012, something like that. Maybe he didn't want me to have waited 8 years ish to ride that ride and to have finally ridden it just to not have any fun on it and to think it was just a waste of time, you know. But I had absolutely a blast on the other rides. Like, it was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's my testimony of how God allowed me to have a lot of fun at Cedar Point with no fear whatsoever to ride those other rides.